Okay, everybody. So I'm going to be a video mainly about Lady Money, and please stay tuned to the end because I'm going to give you some advice on what you should do and shouldn't do when it comes to Lady Money. And of course, as the video goes along, they're going to talk about, we're going to see what happens, and of course, during the video, I'm going to give a commentary. All right, let's begin.
Plaintiff Mark Eichenbrod says he and the defendant became best friends after meeting at work, and Mark always defended her when others on the job claimed she was promiscuous. However, they ended up falling out, and he's suing her today for breach of contract and emotional distress. Defendant Jenny Lopez says Mark constantly harasses her at work by calling her names and claiming she will sleep with people for food. And he also spray painted a derogatory word on her car. She's countersuing for the harassment.
Start with you.
Yes, Your Honor. I've known Jenny for a couple years now. She was my best friend at work. I've heard rumors about her at work being promiscuous with donors, which I refuse to believe.
People just walk up to you?
They would offer it when we were best friends. They would give me warnings to not get so close to her. Yes, Your Honor. So I didn't believe them because I would let it.
They said you would catch something by being close to her?
No, Your Honor. It's because we were just close friends, and
Right.
I guess the way that she had acted with other donors, they just wanted me to just be careful.
Did they suspect you wanted to date her?
Possibly, I can't speak for what they would.
You didn't ask him, why are you warning me about this is my friend? What are you talking about? You don't talk about my friends. I don't care if she does that. She could be a full-blown drunk when she goes home. That's not my concern. We're friends. You're concerned about her lifestyle so much.
No, sir. No, Your Honor.
Yes, you are. Somebody told you she's promiscuous, and they said, watch out. Watch out for what?
That's
What, they think you're a freak and want to watch? What do you mean? Watch out. Watch out for a woman who you're not associated with? That's not your woman. Y'all wasn't dating. Y'all didn't. Did you date him?
No, sir.
Yeah, you can be what you want. And that shouldn't affect your friendship.
Let me say this. First, say this before we continue. Judge is absolutely correct and right. When you're on the job, you get at work, make your money, and go home. And if you have to make a friend or make friends on the job, okay, cool. But worrying about what people saying about this coworker or that coworker and running back telling them, it's a waste of time. You don't need to be doing all that. No one needs to be doing all that. Go to work, do your job now. Okay, well, hang out outside of work or outside the job or something when y'all both off. Okay, cool, do that. But all that worrying about what someone said about this person, that person, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. You're there to do a job. You ain't there to worry about what a person does or don't do. Especially if you're not involved with them. Now, if y'all was involved with each other, that'd be a different story. All right, let's continue.
Abby is like my sister that takes care of me here. She can be as she wants. She's still going to be my sister, and I'm going to love her, and I ain't going to talk about it, and I'm going to defend her.
absolutely.
When anybody says she's promiscuous, even if I know something different. I don't. I'm just saying, even if I is, I'm going to defend her.
Plaintiff Mark Eichenbrod is suing his former best friend, who claims Mark has been harassing her on the job and even spray painted a derogatory word on her vehicle.
All right, sir, continue your testimony.
Yes,
I just
sir.
had to defend her already. I don't like men coming here. Y'all philandering men coming here, cheating men, coming here accusing women of something y'all do every day.
Absolutely, Your Honor. Well,
Every once in a while, you might, right? Just a once. Not every. Go ahead, sir.
yes, Your Honor.
every full moon. I'm glad you laughing, man. You know, that's what all right. So you all began your friendship. Your friends warned you, but you continued with your
Yes.
friendship.
Yes, Your Honor.
obviously, like I suggested you should do. You did just that. And
Yes,
how
Your
did your friendship go?
I actually defended her in those times that
There
I
you
had heard.
go.
I did that because she was my best friend, and I refused to believe what I had heard about her. So
You and me alike. I'll
whenever we
defend Debbie.
whenever we would be hanging out outside of work, I would bring these rumors up to her, and she would deny them, which I believed because she was a support shoulder for me when my father passed. She meant a lot to me in my life, and I respected and believed everything that she had told me. Well, since then, I have personally seen some of these videos of her engaging in acts with the donors from our job.
How?
They were offered to us, and I didn't have to ask for it. A lot of people
Video.
at my job, yes, sir. A video has been shown along with text as well. And since I've seen those, and her denying all of those,
But how many different people? One?
no, at least 7 or 8 that I know of. I promise you, at least 7 or 8.
No, 7 to 8 videos
No,
or
no.
7 to 8 texts.
I'm sorry. One video. I said how many people had seen it. There were a bunch of people who have seen it. I've seen
How many
one.
have you seen?
I've
Just
seen one video.
from one man.
Yes.
How does that make her promiscuous? That is no evidence of promiscuity. That could have been her man, her guy that she just wants to do that with, one person. You have to say that she has done this several times, and I've seen something to that effect. Do you
Yes.
have any other instances you can make reference to back up this claim that they're making at the job that might be credible?
I have seen text as well. I've only seen the one video.
Different guy than the text?
Yes, different guy. Well, yes, different guy, different people who have shown it. So I've seen texts from other people, video from one, texts from others. But having all said that, after her denying everything that I brought forth to her when we were hanging out outside of work, and then her denying it and me seeing the proof that it was true, made me reconsider how I really kind of viewed her, thinking if she lied to me then, what else could she possibly be lying about to me in terms of anything in that matter?
Oh, please.
Paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right? Wrong. In fact, this is the first of 3.
Please.
So, well, that's
Somebody lie to you about their sexual lifestyle.
I get that.
You think that they're going to lie to you about money. Somebody tells you they like breast as opposed to behind, then, I don't know about that person. He's a breast man. And so I can't trust a breast man.
Yes.
So we can't do a business transaction
that's
because of what I heard your sexual lifestyle is like. And I don't like people who are breast men. That has zero to do with your friendship unless you were interested in being with her.
Let me say this. I believe he was interested in being with her. That's why I think he was so concerned about this and that and the other. But I think the thing was that he probably was too scared or too nervous to approach her and let her know how he really felt and let her know that he really liked her in that way. And probably was scared of possibly being rejected. That's my opinion on that, and that's what I'm sensitive to seeing. And see, like the judge is kind of sensitive to seeing the same thing as well too. All right, let's continue.
You see how crazy this sounds. That's why I'm having fun with it.
I
That
can
is
relate.
crazy because you're only her friend. In
Yeah.
fact, when my friends tell me this type of stuff, I'm about to get in trouble with them. When my friends tell me this stuff, I live vicariously through it.
What?
Tell me more. No. I want the blow. We call it blow by blow. Give me the blow by blow. I want specifics. So that's what I do, and that's what fellas do. But we don't judge the person. We just say woo, and then say you all right with me though, man, because we're friends.
yes, Your Honor.
Let me hear some background from you.
Hello, Your Honor. Good afternoon. My name is Jenny Lopez, and I'm here because I want Mark to leave me alone. We do work together, and customers and co-workers, he has inappropriately said that I'm a fat bee and that I will sleep with you if you feed me, and that I sleep with those those ends, and that not only has he inappropriately spoke about me where everyone can hear, he has also came to my sacred home to where I have my daughter and my grandson, and has spray painted my vehicle and spray painted whore, excuse my language, Your Honor, on both sides of my vehicle at my home.
All right, so
Well, let me say this before they continue. If someone had vandalized, I don't believe she filed a police report, but if someone did vandalize her vehicle, she should have called the police and filed a police report. That's number one. And also, if she's being harassed on the job, then should have reported to her supervisor. And also, if the supervisor doesn't do anything about it, then report it to HR. The stuff like this, you gotta be careful when you do stuff like this on the job. Stuff like this on the job get you suspended and even terminated. All right, anyway, let's continue.
Oh, how'd you go from best friends to all of that?
I being that the him doing these things at work, I just stopped talking to him. I stopped talking to him. I stopped texting him. I just stayed away from him. I don't know if it's because of him experimenting with the drugs that he started doing. I don't know what it was. He just became a different
passing
person.
judgment on each other again. Here you are concerned about his life as a drug user. He's concerned about your life as a promiscuous woman.
Plaintiff Mark Eigenbrod is suing his former best friend, who claims Mark has been harassing her on the job and even spray painted a derogatory word on her vehicle.
What do you say to falling out? When did it begin and why?
The fallout began because I made her a loan that she'd asked for.
When?
I made it in December of 2021. It was a $3,000 loan that she'd asked for help with her rent. She had agreed to pay me $750 per month out of her paycheck, and only has paid me maybe $180 out of each paycheck. And then the second loan was for $1,546 made in.
All right, let me say this real quick. That's a mistake he made right there. I mean, let him the money the first time, and she agreed to pay, and got some type of audio recording that she was going to pay. Okay, that's fine. But then she had to repay the first loan, and then you turn around and lend her money again a second time when she hasn't repaid the first loan. That's a huge mistake. That is a very huge mistake, and I'm hoping that everybody, that's watching this will see this and hear this, that if you lend someone some money once and they don't pay you back, then you shouldn't lend them money again until they at least pay you the first time. You lend them money first, then see if they pay you back. And if they want to borrow money again and they haven't paid you for what they owed you the first time, you shouldn't lend them money again. All right, let's continue.
April of the next year, because her car was being repoed outside of our place of employment, and it had embarrassed her. Now, I made a audio contract on the $3,000 loan for her, basically to protect me in this incident.
All right. So how does she owe you for emotional distress?
The emotional distress comes from the $1,500 I gave her for the car on being repoed or not being repoed. That was my moving money that I was going to use, and I told her at the time of the loan that I did not really have it to give to her, that I needed a guarantee to get it back by July 1st.
All right, let me say this before I continue. That's another thing you should never do as well, too. If you're going to lend someone or somebody money, whoever it may be, whether it's family, a friend, or whoever it may be, never lend money that you cannot afford to lend. Let me say this again. Never lend money that you cannot afford to lend. I'm going to say it again for the third time. Never lend money that you cannot afford to lend. Because he said he needed that $1,500 back by July 1st to move, because he process of moving. And she said she was getting back to a certain time. Like I said, he should have never lended that $1,500. Because she hadn't paid back the first loan. So she hasn't completely paid back the first loan that you lended her. Why would you turn around and lend her money again? And especially when you know that you need the money and stuff. Need that money back. Like I was saying before, and I'll say again. Don't lend money that you cannot afford to lose. You cannot afford to lend, I should say. because you might not get the money back. Or if you do get it back, you might not get it back when you need it to. So don't do it. All right, let's continue.
Because people have threatened my life where I live, and so I needed to move out of
Your
the.
life.
There was a previous person who instances with them, they can't come to our place of employment.
So she should pay you for that.
I'm sorry.
So she should pay you regarding for the concern you have for not being able to get out of the neighborhood.
But Your Honor.
All right, let me say this real quick for the two to continue. He should have included that in his claim. He should have included that in his judgment that he lent her $3,000 and also that he lent her additional $1,500 on top of that. So he should have included all that in his claim in this lawsuit here in this court case. That's what he should have done. All right, yeah. All right, let's continue.
I never gave them any money. They had made the threat to me, which pushed forward my wanting to move.
Using that as part of your testimony.
Well, I needed to move by July. That's when my lease had ended. She had guaranteed the money back by then. I never saw a dime of that money. At work, the fallout, I was trying to ask her about the loan.
Let me say this. As you heard, he said he lent her the money, the $1,500, and he never saw a dime of that money back. See, that's why I said, and he know he needed to move. That's why I say you don't lend that kind of money to a person if you know you need that kind of money, because it's just a good chance you might not get it back. And as you see in this case here, he didn't get that money back. All right.
She would never talk about it. She got erased by
emotional distress because of delinquent bills. I'm sure that you are not sued for emotional distress, nor is anyone else, by corporations that receive delinquent payments from you. So emotional distress is not given because you don't get paid in time. Otherwise, every corporation in America would be suing for emotional distress for all the late payments they receive from people. Ma'am, what do you say to the contract to repay?
I feel like I don't deserve him. I feel like I don't deserve to pay him anything from all the harassment that
started because you hadn't paid him, no?
Yes.
If you had paid him, you wouldn't have the harassment. So before the harassment, what was your excuse?
Before the harassment, the excuse was that I had COVID back in December and almost died. I missed work for 5 months. It put me back on my bills, and I was paying what I could. I wasn't totally until the harassment started at our job. I just stopped talking to him completely.
Okay. Tell me when the harassment began. Give me the first incident.
The harassment began around June, and it was and that's just when I started sending emails to my boss, explaining how people, not only one person, but most of customers that were in our place of work, that were coming up saying, and these were intelligent, smart, people, big people that were coming to us, telling not only me, but telling other people that he was calling me names.
Give me the first instance of that. It should be right on the tip of your tongue. The first time he degraded you and told everyone else things, and you got a call regarding him degrading you. The first time should be ever present.
It was in June, and
What happened? Describe what happened.
Well, the lady came up to me and she said that that one of the employees up front had been talking really bad. He thought that it was an ex-girlfriend of his, or if it was probably a family member, and she didn't know who he was talking about. That she said that he was telling her that he wished that
her name come up in that comment.
My name did come up.
So he was telling her what?
That Jen should rot in hell, and that her kids should rot in hell, and that excuse my language, Shona, and that that I was a bee, and that just very
Okay.
a lot of
You ask the
derogatory.
person what they, why do they think he did that, or did you already know why he would do? Your best friend would talk like that against you.
It was because I hadn't paid him.
Oh, you already knew that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So did you ask her? Why did she think he did it, or did she already know your business?
No, she actually did not know my business,
Mhm.
and when he was helping her, he asked her, "Well, do you know who Jen is?" And she said, "No, I don't know who Jen is." And he said, "Well, when you get to the back of the building, you'll see Jen. You'll know who she is." He even described her.
Yeah,
to
and
the
when she
T.
got to the back of the building, she approached you with what he had said.
Yes,
A
yes,
total
ma'am.
stranger.
Well, she
Said she didn't know you.
she
You
didn't
just
know.
told me that.
Yes, sir.
So if you don't know somebody, you're a stranger.
Yes, sir.
hmm Total stranger walks up to you and
And said
tells
how-
you that your colleague said all these degrading things about you just out of the blue, and you don't even know her. And me going up to a stranger here that just started work and started telling them inner employee business. That doesn't sound rational or believable.
If you have arthritis, toss your bottled water in the trash. Here's why. Scientists from
Plaintiff Mark Eigenbrod is suing his former best friend, who claims Mark has been harassing her on the job and even spray painted a derogatory word on her vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. And some of those accusations of what she's saying that I said, I date women of color, so I would not use the N-word ever. I've never used that. Wouldn't ever call anybody a fat bee because my mother was a large woman herself. So that's one word I personally just have never used because it's personal to me with my mom being a larger woman. The only thing I did call her was a thief at work because I said she stole $3,500 from me, which is what basically she still owed. So that's the only thing I ever said. I never said anything about any racial terms. I've never said anything about her size, anything of that nature, because that's just not who I am.
Well, that's a good way to not pay your debt. That's a good way to try and play on the emotions of a judge to get out of the debt.
And let me say this too. And see, also, I'm gonna say this real quick as well about this case. This case also shows, what I'm looking for. It shows ungratefulness and a non-gratitude of him helping her out. And see, that's why I say the thing about you have to be careful about who you lend money to and why you lend money, because you end up in cases like this. And when you lend money to some people like this, they'll find any excuse or any reason why not to pay you back, and they will show you, how ungrateful they are or how ungrateful they are. And this is one way you can really find out who a person really is and what a person is all about when it comes to you, when it comes about a person. If you lend them money, when you lend someone money or let someone borrow money from you, this when you really find out who a person really is, who they really about, and what their character is. All right, let's continue.
Go ahead. See, people don't think I think this stuff out, or you don't think it out before you tell me. Go ahead.
Also, when it comes to the car incident,
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why I would ever do anything.
I don't know anything about the car. That's the harassment counterclaim. What did he do to you, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I have evidence on my vehicle. I have evidence for my vehicle where, Your Honor, I had a demand letter sent from him that was, I had 10 days or else. And
Else he'll sue you, like he has.
on the 11th day.
They don't write letters when they're going to bust windows or whatever you claim he did. Go ahead, though, ma'am. I hope you got enough evidence. Maybe you had evidence that it was him. Go ahead.
On page 2 is a demand letter. On page 3 and 4 is pictures of the vehicle. There's also a video that was submitted, and the spray painting of the vehicle was on the 11th day.
Okay. The 11th of what?
The 11th day of I had 10 days of the demand letter.
Okay. And you say it was spray painted August 26th.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then the next 10 days, the I saved you beginning last. You have made a recorded contract with me and have never made a payment. Now you have completely stopped all payments. You have stolen my money. You have 10 days today to pay the money back, which I have added reasonable interest to. He said, all he said is you have 10 days to pay. And so because you didn't pay, you think he decided to go from a professional approach to it to a violent approach.
He's the only.
Let me say this real quick before they continue. Sometimes that can happen too. Sometimes when you lend someone money and you don't pay it back or pay it, things can get violent. Sometimes, it can end up with him, like he says, someone spray painting your car, busting your windows out, someone, doing something to you. Either them doing something to you themselves or even them getting someone else to do something to you. Maybe a family member or a friend to do something to you. So lending money is is like I said, very serious thing. So you got to be careful who you lend money to, because some people you lend money to, they can see like to be the nicest person in the world, and then no sooner as you lend money to, and they lend you money, and you try to pay them back or try to get over on them, they can turn out to be a totally different person. They can turn out to be a beast or turn out to be an animal. So they might do something to harm you, hurt you, or in some cases, worst case scenario, maybe even kill you. Some people don't play, when it comes to, their money. So you gotta be very careful when you borrow money from people. You have to pay them back if you can. All right, let's continue.
Only one who knows where I live. The only
That's the end of your case. Your judgment is granted.
Thank you,
I
Your
do
Honor.
not believe a stranger walked up to her out of the blue telling her these dastardly things you said about her. And secondly, the explanation she just had, you're the only person in the world that knows where she lives. Therefore, you're the one damaged her car. She's playing with my intelligence, and I'm going to show her my intelligence by dismissing your claim and granting yours.
Thank
Have
you,
a
Your
good
Honor.
day.
Thank you.
I want him to leave me alone. I want him to stop talking about me. I want him to stop harassing me. I want him to leave me alone.
I don't talk to her at work as it is, and it will remain that way.
He just needs to stop running his mouth.
Now that I have received the money that I am rightfully owed, everything will be done.
All right, that's the end of that court case here. But before we go here, let me get some advice here when it comes to lending money. Number one, like I said earlier in the video, don't lend money that you cannot afford to give away. Like if you know that some person or a family or friend, whoever it may be, wants to borrow money, and hey, that you can't afford to give it because maybe you have, something coming, you have a bill to pay, car payment to pay, rent, or something, or in the case you might be moving, whatever the case may be, you cannot afford to lend the money, then don't lend the money. All right. Number two, if only lend money you can afford to give, because more likely you lend the money, it's a good chance you may not get it back. Now, second, also, if you're going to lend a large amount of money, which means something like $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever the case may be, those I consider large amounts of money, then you need to have a contract drawn up. You let the person know, okay, I'll be willing to lend you this money, but here we're gonna have to go and get a promissory note wrote up, and if my money's not paid back in a certain amount of time, I'm going to want interest on the money. If the money's not paid back within 90 days, then I want interest. Or the money not paid back within 6 months, I'm going to want interest on the money. So you let them know that you're going to have a promissory note. And hopefully, a lot of times, in some cases, if you do a promissory note, if you tell a person a promissory note, they might not want to borrow the money anymore from you. They might be like, no, I'm good. They'll go another route. All right, that's number two. If you go to lend money, you get a promissory note. And the way you go about getting a promissory note is you write up a contract or type up a contract. You and the person, you go to the bank, you sign it, they sign it, and then the bank person all notarize, stamps notary on it, note that it's been notarized. You keep your copy, they have a copy, and then if they don't pay you, then you can take them to court with your promissory note, and you can sue them to get your money back. I mean, personally, like I said, I know, like in instance, if it's a small amount of money, if someone wants to borrow, maybe whether it's $10, $20, $50, maybe even $100. If I can afford it, then I would lend it to a person, and if I get it back, okay, fine. But if I don't, then I don't lend it. But I only lend if I can only afford to. But I don't lend large amounts of money out. Personally, to me, I only lend out small amounts. The most I lend out to somebody that I know, I might lend them maybe like $10, $20, maybe 50 at the most. But I usually don't go no higher than $50. So that way, if they, if I get it back, okay, cool. If I don't get it back, then it's no big deal. It's not going to hurt me. But if I was to lend a large amount of money out to a person, then more likely I'm going to have a contract drawn up for them to pay back. And then also, like I said, when you give someone some money or lend someone some money and they don't pay you back, or they, try not to pay you back, then that's when you really can find out what kind of person that person is, and let you know who you're dealing with, and let you know what kind of character that person has. All right, anyway, that's it. That's my take on that. And like I asked you all before, again, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with others. And until next time, y'all take care. God bless and peace.